So we are working in x and z plane. So if I click on y, I can see x and z plane. So from here I can go with x and z plane, right? So in the x and z plane I am going to choose a rectangle. I am randomly clicking somewhere over here, and then I am clicking somewhere over here, right? So remember, while drawing this rectangle, this was my starting point and this was my ending point. Then I'm going to the dimensions. I'll go to the general dimensions. In the general dimensions, I'll select this corner which is starting point, and then I'm going to create this axis. Then again I'm going to create this in this direction. You can see h1. So h1 I am going to give, this is total width is 840, so this will be 480, sorry, 420 mm. So this is 0.42 meters this side, and this side also 0.42 meters, like this, right? So if you zoom this, it will look like this. Then I'll go to the general dimension. So I'm going to click it like this, and I'm going to click it like this. So the total width of the plate is 0.84, so it will come like this, and this one is also 0.84. So now you can see this, your square plate is ready. I'll go to the draw, I'll click on this dimension, and with the help of delete button of the keyboard, I'm going to select this and delete it. So this is to the scale exact dimension of the plate. This is 480 mm. So if you look closely, it is going to be like this, right? Then I'm going to modeling once again. Now here you can see there is one sketch one. If I select sketch one, you will find the rectangle is the square is getting highlighted with the yellow color. Now I'm going to select this, and I'm going to extrude this. Oh, sorry, not revolve. I'm going to extrude this. Okay. So this is extrusion. So extrusion in the positive y direction, it is shown in the gray uh, area. So what I'll do is, I want to have a thickness of 62 mm, that is 0.062 mm meters. So if I click it like this, so it is going to create extrusion in the vertical direction, right? If I want, I can give the direction, I can change the direction in the reverse direction, so that the plate can be extruded in the reverse direction. Okay, now in this case I am going to use material. In place of add material, I'm going to use add frozen, and then I'm going to say generate, and you will find that this plate is now generated. Okay, so now we are going to create a eye section at the top of this plate. So we are looking at plate once again. This is in x and z plane. I am going in x and z plane. Sketch 1 is already created. So now I am going to create another sketch. So this will be called as sketch 2. So in the sketch 2, now I am going to create a eye section. Okay, so now to create eye section, what I'll do is, I'll select the sketch 2. I'll go to this one. I'll once again create a small rectangle which is like this, right? And then again, with the help of dimensions, I'm going to select the starting point. So starting point and this point is like this, and starting point and this axis is like this. So half of the thickness of the web is 4.15 mm. So this is h. Okay, so this is 4.15 e raised to power minus 3. Okay, so this is the thickness, and the starting point of this is at 0.175 meters, so it will be like this. So if you see the total thickness, so total thickness of this flange will be this will be something like 8.3 mm. Okay, 8.3 10 raised to power minus 3. Okay, so it will be like this, and the total length, this is going to be 350 mm, that is 350, or I can say 0.35 meters. Okay, so you can see the web is now exactly at the center. So I'll go to draw once again. I'll select these dimensions, and I'm just going to simply delete it, otherwise it is going to create a problem while creating the other things, right? So now this is the total you can say depth of the eye section. Now here I am going to create one more rectangle, right? So now again I am going to have a rectangle. This is randomly I am choosing it like this. So this is my starting point, this is my ending point. Now with the help of dimensions I am choosing my starting point and I am locating it with the help of x-axis, and this is my starting point and I am locating with the help of this axis, so like this. So my starting point, or rather I should not do this, I'll select this point. This is my starting point, right? So this point will be at a distance of, say, the total height is 0.35, correct?
Yes.
Oh sorry, this is 750 175, 0.175 meters. Okay, so it will come over here, and from here to here this distance will be 125, so 0.125. so this is my starting point, right? Now I am going to give thickness and total width. So the thickness is represented by V12. So V12, this is the total thickness is 11.6 to the power minus 3. Okay, so this is the thickness, and the total width. Okay, so total width is 250, so 0.25. Okay, so now you can see this is the section which I have created, and with the help of this draw command I'll just go to this, I'll delete all this, and I'm going to delete all dimensions lines. So now here you can see few things are overlapped, right? So I'll go to modify command, I'll go to the trim command. So I'm going to trim this, I'm going to trim this, I'm going to trim this, also I'm going to trim this. Okay, I'll go to draw once again, and here you can see there is one line from here to here. So I'll select this one also. So here it will see there are two lines, one is the bigger line and one is the smaller line. Okay, so I'm going to select the smaller lines with the help of keyboard. I'm going to delete this, so that now you can see there is a continuous line which is showing the web and the flange. Okay, so this is how one web can be created. So similarly I have created the flange for the bottom portion, and you can see that the section is ready. So this is our section, and if you go to the modeling, this was under sketch 2. So once I select sketch 2, you will find the eye section is getting highlighted. Now I am going to extrude this eye section like this, and you can see in the gray line the 3D view of this eye section. And I can again, in place of going for add material, I'll go for add frozen, and I'm going to give the height of this eye section as, say, 1 meter. Okay, so you can see this is now 1 meter height. Once I say generate, okay, so you will find this eye section is now generated. Now the point is, here you can see there are two solids. The first solid, you can see this is a solid plate, okay, and second solid is your eye section. These are two different entities. Okay, okay. So now we will create a angle. So angle will be at this corner as well as at this corner. So both the angles I am going to create simultaneously, right? So now if you look at this, so we have to create an angle like this. So if you see in this view, the angle will look like this. Okay, so this is in x and y plane, right? So now I am going in x and y plane. I am just zooming this, right? So in x and y plane I am going to draw two rectangles. So I am zooming only this part. Okay, so now this is your axis, this is your x-axis I should say, and this is your y-axis. So with the help of this rectangle command, I am going to select any random point at the x-axis, and I am going to create a rectangle like this. So I know that this distance is the 350 divided by 2, that is 175 mm. Okay, so now with the help of dimensions, I am going to select the starting point of the rectangle, which is over here, and I am going to select this. So this should be 175 mm, that is 0.175 mm, so that now you can see it is now matching with this joint. Okay, then I am going to give the length and thickness. So the length of this is I think this is 80 mm, so this is sorry 60 mm, 0.06 mm. So you can see this is 0.06 mm, but this is getting shifted. So I'll give the thickness first. So thickness is 8 mm, that is 0.008 mm. So you can see 0.008 mm is over here. Now this sometimes happen that if you try to give the dimensions, in that case it is going to shift the this one. So here let me try it once again. So if you select this, so this should be 0.175 mm. So you can see it is now working. Okay, so this is how the drawing is done. Then I am going to draw one more rectangle like this. So this is the same point. I am going to have it in this direction. So I just need to give now the dimension. I just need to give the thickness. So thickness is over here, it is 8 mm, so 0.008 mm. So you can see the thickness is like this, and the total length is our 60 mm, 0.06 mm. Okay, I think this is H4, this should be 0.06 mm, right? So now this is okay, right? So now with the help of draw, now I am going to delete all these dimension lines. Okay, so here, and you can see my angle is like this. Now again you can see there are overlap lines. So I'll go to the modify. I'm going to have trim. So I'll trim this, and you can see there is one dot over here, one dot over here. That means there are extra lines. So I'll select this. So again it is asking me whether it is the bigger line or the smaller line. So I'll select the smaller lines, I'll delete it, and here also it is asking me whether it is bigger or smaller. I'll go with the smaller line. Also smaller line is at the top, so I'm going to delete this. So here you can see in the modeling, this angle section is drawn over here. Okay, so now if you look at this view, I am going to draw one more section in this direction as well. So similarly I have created one angle over here, and you can see in the 3D view one angle is seen over here and another angle is seen over here. Okay, now this both angles, they are drawn in the sketch 3 in the XY plane. So now I am selecting sketch 3, and now I am going for extrude once again. So now here you can see once I go for extrude, I need to see the direction. So I need to extrude in both the directions. I want to extrude in this direction as well as in the opposite direction, right? So here I am just going to have direction from normal to both symmetric. So as soon as I select both symmetric, it will be extruded in both direction. And the distance, now I am going to have distance as 0.125 mm. Okay, so you can see now both the angles, they are extruded exactly by the same amount. Okay, you can see in the both the views, and the operation I am going to use over here is add frozen. Okay, so right now you can see there are two solids. So as soon as I create a generate, you will find 4 solids are there. So this is your base plate, this is your angle section, eye section, this is your first angle section, and this is your second angle section. Okay, so now we will create holes for the bolt. So if you see the top view, you can see this is the angle section, and this is the center axis. So right now we are looking at X and Z plane. So I'll go to X and Z plane. Okay, now in the X and Z plane we have already created sketch 1, sketch 2. Now I am going to create one more sketch. This is sketch 4. Now in the sketch 4, now I am going to create a circle. So I am going to create a circle randomly. I am just choosing it over here. Okay, and one more circle randomly I am choosing it over here. So now first of all we need to give the dimensions to the center of the circle. So I'll go to the dimension, I'll go to the general dimensions, I'll select the center, and I'm going to select this. So this distance is calculating 0.209 meters. Okay, so this is the center, and the center from this axis is, this distance will be 0.065. Okay, so you can see it is located, center is located, and here the diameter, so diameter of this particular hole is 36 mm, that is 0.036 mm. Okay, so you can see the bolt is now created over here. Okay, it's 0.036 mm, correct? So similarly I am going to create this one also. So this is 0.036 mm. Okay, so this is the diameter of this, and again I am going to select the center of this. I am going to select this axis, so this is coming out to be 0.209 mm. Okay, and from here to here I am going to give this distance as 0.065 meters. So I'll go to draw, I'll delete all these unnecessary dimensions which are not required for creating openings. Okay, so let me select this, and similarly we can create two circles at this edge, and if you look at this, they are going like this, so they are slightly going away. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll go to the dimensions once again. I'm just reducing the dimension. Okay, so this is diameter is 0.036, so I'm just going to change it to 0.03. Okay, and here also 0.03. Okay, so I'll go to draw once again, and I'll just delete this. Okay, so now you can see the bolts are there. I think still the size of this bolts is on the higher side, but we can anytime change it. So now what I'll do is I'll just go to this sketch 4. Okay, this is sketch 4, and you can see these yellow circles are highlighted over here, and in this sketch 4 I'm going to now go for extrude. Okay, so when I say extrude command, now this time I am going to use a slice material option. Okay, so in the slice material I want to slice it throughout. Okay, so there is a direction option, so I want to slice it in both the direction, and the direction vector is both symmetric. Okay, and extend type is through all. Okay, so once I generate this, so you will find, see, the two openings are there, and you can see the portion which is cut is clearly visible over here. Okay, so these are four options, four cylinders you can say. Okay, so this is the first cylinder, you can see the topmost, this is the slice after cutting the plate. This is in the base plate, this is in over here, and this is over here. So since I don't want this, okay, so I'll select both and I'll simply say suppress. Okay, so suppressing this body, now you can see that there is a clear cut hole. Can you see this now?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a clear cut hole. The same technique I am going to use over here also to create the openings. So now we will create bolt. So bolt can be seen in the X and Z plane, and you can see in the X and Z plane, this is X and Z plane, we have already created these 4 circles for creating holes. So we can use the same circles for creating bolt as well. So what I'll do is in X and Z plane I am going to create one more sketch. Okay, I can rename this. Okay, if I want, I can rename this, I can say BOLT, so that in future it can be recognized easily. So in this sketch now I am going to have, I'm just going to zoom this over here. So I already have that center point and the radius. So I'll just go to the circle, I'll select this, okay, and I'll just overlap this. You can see perpendicular is option is there, okay. So I'm just recreating those 4 circles, okay, using this and using this. So here you can see now that the 4 circles are created in your sketch number bolt. Okay. So now these sketches are created at the x and z plane, whereas you can see in this picture, from if you look at this, so these yellow lines are at the x-axis, okay, and here there is a thickness of 6 mm at the top, and at the base we have a thickness of 62 mm, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this bolt, okay. Now when I say extrude, I can extrude this in one direction. You can see there is a direction over here, so this is normal direction, okay. So this is reverse direction, and there is a symmetric direction, okay. So when I say a symmetric direction, it will be extruded vertically as well as downwards in the same size. But now what I can have, I want to extrude this in the both direction, but I want to have different thicknesses, okay. So I can say asymmetric, right? So when I say asymmetric, so I can have the distance as, say, here you can see at the bottom we have 175, and at the top also we have 175. It can be clearly seen from this picture. So if I go with the top thickness is, let us say, 6 mm. So if I go with 0.006 mm, you can see the top is now reduced, but we need some distance for holding the nut. So in place of 0.006 mm, I am just going to have a random value as 0.15 for example, okay. So you can see 0.15, it is slightly coming above, okay, whereas at the bottom I can have different value. So this is say this thickness is 62 mm, so this is 0.062. so you can see it is completely in line with the base. So if you want some extra over here, so I can do that one also, 0.1 meter. So you can see this is now extended over here, okay. Now once I click on generate button, you will find these 4 nuts, they are now visible. Now what I have done by mistake, this is add material I have done. I have to go for add frozen. When I say generate, now you will find this is bolt number 1, this is bolt number 2, bolt number 3, and bolt number 4. So in this way you can have a variable extrusion in one direction, and other direction we can have a different value of extrusion.